Notice of a public meeting of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville. Pursuant to Chapter 551, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act, notice is hereby given that the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, in accordance with Article 5, Section 12 of the Charter of said city, will convene an executive session and a regular meeting on Tuesday, November the 15th, 2011, at 5:15 p.m. and 6 p.m. in the Commission Chambers on the second floor of the Brownsville City Hall, located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas. Executive session item A, discussion pursuant to Section 551.072 of the Texas Government Code regarding real property. Executive session item B, attorney consultation pursuant to Section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code in connection with pending litigation styled and numbered BFFA Local 970 versus Brownsville, cause number 2011-DCL-5738-E. Executive session item C, attorney consultation pursuant to Section 551.071(2) of the Texas Government Code in connection with the rights, duties, obligations under Chapter 174 of the Texas Local Government and current status of collective bargaining negotiations.
I make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion carries. Estella, we're ready. Yeah, right. Would everybody please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, under God, one and indivisible. Invocation by Paul Luna. Thank you.
Heavenly Father, we draw close to you at this time and we ask your help. And yet, at the same time, we give you thanks. We give you thanks for this month is the day that we set apart as Thanksgiving Day. Thank you for our civic leaders, for our mayor, for our commissioners, and everyone else who leads our city, our government. Lord, we just ask that you be with them. Help them as they plan and as this meeting is open for people to talk. Trusting in you that you give them a vision for our city for the future. We ask your help today. In Jesus' name, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Thank you very much, Uncle. My mayor's report will be given by Brad.
We want to make an invitation to everyone who's looking for a place to have Thanksgiving meal, or anyone that wants to help serve. Several of the churches have come together, or people from several churches, along with Melissa Castro and others, are serving a Thanksgiving meal at 11th and Adams. There's a building there, the old building with the red doors facing Adams Street, at 5 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day, and there's no charge, so it's available to everybody. So,
Great work, Brad. Thank you. Go ahead.
Commissioner Gowan?
Just wanted to compliment the BISD parent it's the Parent Education Group, Ms. Ladaskitu, as well as Healthy Communities for putting on a wonderful health symposium this week at the Event Center. I had the great fortune to stop by for a bit, and there were probably over 500, at least 500 parents in attendance, all listening and learning about how they can improve their lives and their lives of their children with respect to wellness. They did a great job. I also wanted to let folks know that the next session of the Biggest Loser Challenge will be starting January the 6th. Keep an eye out for notices for registration times. It will be Friday night and Saturday as usual, and will be running through April. The signature event, grand finale, will be a Zumba Atomic event, which is Zumba for children. and more to come on that, and we will be attempting to break a record in that category as well.
Thank you.
Proclamations for Homer Hanna High School students.
Jessica? That's yours.
Okay, this next proclamation is going out to these 4 amazing girls from Homer Hanna High School. I also went there, and they caught my attention when I read in the newspaper that they wrote a book. If you girls want to walk up to the podium. When they wrote a book on autism, and I am very, very, very proud of you girls. And I hope that they inspire more students to go out there, put yourself on the line, and educate and research and bring these things to light, to give us these tools that, you know, make such a difference in our community. And I'm very, very proud of them, and I'm glad to be giving them their proclamation. I'm very proud.
Are you
Okay.
you have the proclamation?
Yeah.
Okay.
A proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, recognizing Homer Hanna High School students Lynette Salazar, Alexandra Guerra, Ashley Garza, and Nicole Gomez for their literary enterprise. Whereas experts tell us that autism spectrum disorders, better known as autism, affects 1 in every 110 children in the U.S., and Texas is second only to California in the number of students with autism and related Asperger's syndrome. Whereas autism is identified as a non-communicable disability that affects a person's social interaction and communication skills. And whereas in the Brownsville Independent School District, strenuous efforts are ongoing in providing autistic students with the tools and educations to lead full, productive lives. And whereas Homer Hanna High School students Lynette Salazar, Alexandra Guerra, Ashley Garza, and Nicole Gomez pulled their quest for information and knowledge of autism to write the book, The Missing Piece, to provide information and create expanded awareness of autism and make the disorder more understandable to the general public. And whereas their book, The Missing Piece, has been published as a glossy, soft-cover book that is available on Amazon.com. And whereas thus, what began as a Health Occupational Students of America project for the family of a dear friend has become a published work that is bound to answer many questions about autism and its effects of those who are autistic. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by the virtue of the authority vested in the charter of said city on behalf of all of our citizens, do hereby recognize Homer Hanna High School students Lynette Salazar, Alexandra Guerra, Ashley Garza, and Nicole Gomez for their literary enterprise, which has resulted in an informative book of the often misunderstood medical condition that affects many young people in our city, our state, and our nation, done on this 15th day of November, 2011. Congratulations. 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 Keep up the good work, you guys. If you guys want to say something at the podium?
Thank you very much, girls. It's great.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work, guys.
The next proclamation, I believe, Melissa,
Is
Commissioner.
International Education Week.
Yes, is Cindy Martinez here with our foreign exchange students? Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for your phone call, Ms. Martinez, and for bringing to our
You can stand
attention
over there with-
our annual guests that we have here in Brownsville, our very special guests, and that is through our foreign exchange student program. This is through the Academic Year in America program, and I'm going to read the proclamation. A proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, declaring November 14th through 18th, 2011 as International Education Week in our city. Whereas the U.S. Department of State and the U.S. Department of Education has declared November 14th through 18th as International Education Week, and whereas in Brownsville, the Student Foreign Exchange Program, Academic Year in America, operating under the auspices of America Institute for Foreign Studies, AIFS, has been active for the past 20 years, and whereas AYA brings students from other countries to study in the United States for the academic year, and whereas in Brownsville, there are 9 foreign exchange students, 2 from China, 2 from Russia, and 5 from Germany, all of whom attend classes at either St. Joseph Academy, Homer Hanna High School, James Pace High School, or Veterans High School, and whereas students in their countries of origin include, and please forgive me for not pronouncing your names correctly, Wangxi Wu and Yili China, Mary-Jan Dumsky, Wiley Esel, Till Frenzel, Marie Rosenberg, and Eliseo Rosino from Germany, Ekaterina, please forgive
Very
me,
good, very good.
Kotlyar, and Elena Verakova from Russia. Now therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the Charter of said city, on behalf of all our citizens, do hereby declare November 14th through 18th, 2011 as International Education Week in our city. Done on this, the 15th day of November 2011, signed the Mayor, City of Brownsville, Antonio Tony Martinez, and the City Commission.
Cindy, do you want to say a few words before we exchange a few
Yes.
handshakes?
Mayor and Commissioners, thank you very much for having the students here. They're a great group of students. We've been in the Brownsville area for about 20 years. I have been hosting for 5 years and have Scott, his American name is Scott, he's living with us this year. My other host parents are here, have hosted students for a number of years also. So we're very fortunate to have host parents here. These students are very brave to come here to a whole new culture, something most of them know nothing about, and they're here for the academic year. I am their supervisor. I watch them all the year while they're here, along with their host parents, and this is a great opportunity for them to be here.
Well, Cindy, I know you well, so I thank you on behalf of the City of Brownsville for encouraging this type of program. I want to thank all the parents that have these students at their houses, and I want to thank all these students for being brave enough to come to Brownsville. We love you. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy your year.
Have fun.
This one.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Have fun. To meet you. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you.
Before we go to the consent agenda items, it just came to my attention, Commissioners, that on the consent agenda items, if you recall, on number C, this is the second and final approval to provide the continuance of the opting out of the exemption for taxations for goods in transit pursuant to the recent amendments of the Texas Tax Code. Pete, there was some concern that Larry Brown had mentioned to me with regards to some of the facilities out at the airport, and he obviously is out of town today and was not able to get back to me, and I'm not sure exactly what the effect is on some of the properties that we lease out to some of the airline carriers, and he never did clarify that for me. So I'm just wondering of the wisdom of taking that off the agenda for this time until we get it clarified? Is that acceptable to you?
That's fine.
Okay.
As long as we do it before December 31st.
Okay. I just want a clarification, he mentioned it to me, I didn't know anything about it, but I think that we should make sure that we know what the ramifications are.
From consent?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Move to continue?
So,
Okay.
second.
Second, I have a motion and a second to approve the consent items listed below.
Before-
No,
I'm
no,
sorry. I'm still continuing the item.
I'm sorry.
I'm moving to continue the item that we removed from the consent agenda items.
Okay. Okay, before we do that, we have the presentations by Jeff. Is that,
We have an action, the item on the floor still.
what's that, I'm sorry?
The item that we removed from the agenda,
Okay,
we moved to remove it, now I'm moving to
accept the
Continue.
rest of?
continue. No, to continue with that item for the next meeting.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Is everybody,
I second that.
okay, all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Now I move to approve consent agenda items.
Okay.
Well,
let-
before we get to the consent, I have a question. Why was it on the letter D, it says that it was tabled on 10/18? I don't remember what action we took on that and why it's being now placed on the consent agenda if it was tabled on the 18th.
I think planning asked us to.
It's on the consent agenda, Commissioner, because the commission approved it. You voted in favor of it. The table is just a comment, I guess, by the city secretary that it was tabled before, and then it came
Then it came
back,
back.
and you approved it last time, and now it's back for consent.
This is the second reading, so we have approved it once. But we just tabled it back in October, okay?
I guess that's a little footnote there.
I know.
It wouldn't be on second reading if you had not approved it on the first reading.
I'm sorry?
It wouldn't be on second reading if it had not been approved on first reading at the previous meeting.
I know, but that's why I'm asking, why is that comment there?
It's just a note that we have when it was tabled the very first time. And it was brought back.
If it's approved, why is it tabled?
No, it was tabled.
And then
then
it was
brought back.
approved later.
It's just informational.
Okay.
Okay?
Move to approve consent agenda items?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and I'm sorry, I apologize. Presentations, apasionado por la lectura. Jeff?
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, about 2009, I had the distinct pleasure of meeting Mrs. Ligia Cuadra and her husband Hernan. These are great folks who have a really nice program here in the city of Brownsville, Apasionados por la Lectura. This is a family literacy program for socioeconomically disadvantaged families. They have done some amazing things over the last 2.5 years here in our community, and contacted me just a few weeks ago and asked if they could have an opportunity to share some of those details with you. So I am going to turn it over to Mrs. Cuadra and let her tell you about their program.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to be here to present an educational program for the parents by the parents. There are certain programs that they have been designed probably for certain people, but parents, they don't feel really included. In this program, our parents are the main root, probably the most important ingredient in our program, because we allow them to do by themselves, to discover those potential they have, and sometimes those potential, those skills that parent has are being probably not noticed by our society or by our community. First, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce and recognize parents from our community. I do thank you to these parents for your meaningful support into our program. Without you, we couldn't be success in this program in our community. I do thank you because all of them are involved, are volunteers, are people who are interested to continue with this program and for the future of our children. Thank you. Next, I would like to ask a question. How many of you have ever heard to say, I hate reading?
I hear it on a daily basis.
Well, I have heard many times this negative expression. I have heard it from young children, adolescents, and quite often from college students too. Sometimes I have heard also in my program that at the beginning, before the parents start, going into apasionados por la lectura, they say, I don't like reading. And how can we change this attitude if our children listen every day from from other students, they hear I hate reading. They hear from their teachers sometimes because they don't like reading. That could be possible too. I have heard from some teachers who studied with me and they say, I don't like reading, I hate. To answer this question, I can say that sometimes I feel sad when I hear this negative expression. And the why is because no educational effort can be achieved without reading. Everybody's reading. Even when we, in the morning, we come take a bathroom and we got to read, it is shampoo, it is a shampoo, or it is another thing that I'm going to take. Everything what we are doing in our life is related to reading. I would like to, that was the reason because in 2009, I was making a lot of projects at the university with the UTV, and I see that there is a gap in our community that not only children can say sometimes they hate reading, but also we have this kind of negative attitude in our community. Here you can see the parents. Most of our parents, when they start into our program, that attitude about negative attitude about reading become, when they finish the course, they become involved, they become passionate for reading. You can see we have been impacted more than 13 elementary schools in this community, and this is our mission. Our mission is really to foster a culture of reading for pleasure at home, because home, we know that mothers are the first teachers at home. Before the children go to pre-K, they need to have that support from their parents. They need to read to their children, because otherwise when those children come into a school, they are struggling. They are struggling readers when they come to pre-K or to kinder. This is our mission, and also I would like to share with you. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I would like to share with you what was those hypotheses when we start in 2009. Our program is based on the following assumptions. Parents that understand the way their children or students are acquiring and using knowledge and a skill of literacy can incorporate these funds of knowledge and literacy practices aimed at facilitating student performance and academic success. At the same time, families who understand the expectation of the school and the way they function are better able to support their children's academic success. Why do we have this hypothesis? Because most of our parents, when they have their children in public school, sometimes they don't have the skill. It's not because they don't really want to support their children, to develop literacy at home. The thing is that those parents are not well informed about the way the children are learning how to read and write in public school. So they need to get informed. They need to be prepared, because what is going to happen in our community if we continue having the dropout rate and also the level of literacy that we have actually. Our program is based on the, also I want to show you parents that understand the way the children or students are acquiring and using knowledge and a skill of literacy can incorporate this fund of knowledge. When I said this fund of knowledge are most of the parents when they say, I can't support my children on reading because I don't speak the language. Just because they don't speak the language, it doesn't mean that they cannot support their children, because they have an important resource at home. They speak Spanish at home, and they can use that resource to read every day to their children. This is according to Freeman and Freeman in 2001, there are some factors leading to student success or failure. I would like to explain this, because if we as a community, if we don't get involved in our children's education and we let just the school district this problem and we don't get involved, so what is going to happen? We're going to continue having such a disappointing, we can say, result that we are having in our community. For that reason, I am encouraging you. I want you to have the opportunity. This December the 11th, we are going to have the first graduation of our students. They are going to graduate at the Civic Pavilion, at the Ringgold Civic Pavilion at 6 p.m. We have invited many commissioners, but we haven't had the opportunity to have at least the mayor of the city to see what they have learning. And I also would like to thank you, the city of Brownsville, because thanks to the city, we have been born in 2009, and we still continue developing the passion for reading in this community. I do thank you for this opportunity. I don't want to take more of your time because I know I have just 15 minutes. I do thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, is Jeff around? Do you have the pleasure of Employee of the Month, Charlie? I'm sorry.
Where is our Employee of the Month? Come on up.
Oh, wow.
Yolanda Galarza Gomez from the City Secretary's Office is the Employee of the Month for November 2011. I did ask the City Secretary to reduce the comments to just one page, so let me go through this. Yoli has been a city employee since 2003, beginning with her position as Administrative Tech 1 at the Building Inspections Department. About 3 years ago, she transferred to the City Secretary's Office as an Administrative Specialist 2 and has become a valued employee with the department and for the City of Brownsville. She is the lead worker in the preparation of the City Commission agenda and the meeting documentation. She receives all the departmental information, uploads the agenda and meeting packet to the city website, and ensures that subscribers receive the information on a timely basis. You see the results of her work in front of you right now. She maintains good communications with other city departments in order to assist them with their respective agenda items. Obviously, she attends the city commission meetings, and you see her here almost every week. She is responsible for preparing drafts of the minutes from those meetings, scanning, indexing ordinances, resolutions, minutes. She has a responsibility to keep the city secretary informed of issues that may arise with respect to the agendas or the commission. She is very dependable. She's been known to complete her assignments as requested and do a fabulous job of it with minimal supervision, and she is a definite asset not only to the city secretary's office, but to the city of Brownsville as a whole. As November Employee of the Month, she is eligible for Employee of the Year. At the banquet coming up, she receives a plaque. This is for you. She gets a watch. Congratulations. But wait, there's still more. She also gets a newly designed Employee of the Month pin.
Yay!
And with that, I will leave it to her speech. Would you like to say something?
Well, thank you. I mean, it's been a great, it's really a great experience right now in my department. Thank you, Estela, because she really backs me up in many things. And my supervisor, Griselda, she's not here today, so, well, thank you so much.
Well, Yoli, on behalf of all of us and everybody that's sitting here knows what a great job you do, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Now we'll let her get back to work.
I think item number 6, is that correct?
Public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 2011-1600.00 to amend the City Code of Ordinances by repealing Article 2 Sidewalk Facilities, Division 2 Sidewalks of Chapter 320 of the Code Book and replacing it with current Article 2 Sidewalk Facilities, Division 2 Sidewalk Requirements in Chapter 320 of the Code Book.
Honorable Mayor and City Commission, Ramiro and myself are here to present this item to you and answer any questions that you may have on this proposed ordinance. This ordinance, what it does is first, it repeals the regulations on sidewalks, because in our code book right now it's in 4 different sections: subdivision, and the permitting process. So it's a little bit confusing when people try to read our code book and determine what do they need in terms of sidewalks. So this ordinance basically puts all of the requirements for new sidewalks in one location or one ordinance. Ramiro will go over the 3 different sections in this proposed ordinance. On the second ordinance regarding sidewalks is that in our subdivision ordinance is that it talks about sidewalks, so we want to repeal that section and direct it to this new ordinance.
Did you want me to read both items together?
That would be a good thing.
Item 7, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 2011-1600.01 to amend the Code of Ordinances by repealing current Article 4, Section 332-167 and instating new Article 4, Section 332-167 sidewalk requirements.
Mayor, City Commissioners, as Mr. Medina said, this is just to correct basically the code right now is very confusing as to where sidewalks are required, where sidewalks aren't required. And we worked with Commissioner Gallen and Allison in the City Attorney's Office to really come up with just cleaning up the code. There's a lot of, and hopefully in the next year we're going to continue to do this with a lot of different ordinances. But this is just the first in many. Currently, we only require sidewalks in residential areas, not in commercial developments, not in commercial subdivisions. So this is one of those major changes in this ordinance where it's now required everywhere. Sidewalks, when you develop a piece of property, you're going to require to put sidewalks. That's the major change. The other changes are just, there's no changes in design standards. They still have to abide by ADA and all those different regulations. But overall, it's just easier to read this ordinance and easier to interpret. People can actually go online and just read it. And it's very simple to understand. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. Our other ordinance was just very, very confusing. The second ordinance, item 7, is just trying to, sidewalks are referred to in different parts of the code. So that's just cleaning up that and referring it back to this ordinance that you have before you. So if you have any questions.
I would just like to thank you guys and Allison for working on the project. What made us start to think about it was on Central and Boca Chica, where CVS is on one side and Walgreens is on the other. CVS voluntarily put in sidewalks, and it became very apparent the difference that you could walk to one pharmacy, but you couldn't walk to the other. And that's when we started thinking about it. And now that you can see the sidewalks going up and down Central, it's much more visible, the need that was there, and now folks can walk there without having to walk in the street.
This would be public hearing. Any other comments?
My question is, Ben, when you're changing these rules, are you saying that if I build a house and there's no sidewalk, I have to pay for the sidewalk in front of the house? Is that what I'm asking?
Yes, and that's currently in our code right now.
Okay. So the city would not be putting any more sidewalks in residential areas because all individuals that build houses will have to put their part of the sidewalk? That's what I want.
That's correct, but in here in this section where those areas that do not have a sidewalk, and as you may know, we have CDBG funds and we can go ahead and install those sidewalks in those areas, but those will be studied, analyzed as to where those goes. But no, the city can put sidewalks with available funding on certain neighborhoods.
Okay. The only thing I would like to ask the board here, Mayor, is that the sidewalks that were built on Central were under the 36 inches. I went to measure them. They were 34, 34 and a half, 35, and some parts are not done correctly. You barely can put one person. If you think you're going to use it for wheelchairs, it's going to be very difficult. If you go check it out, Mayor. It's not done correctly. All I want to make sure is that if you're going to pass this rule, make sure there's ample, because we do have an easement. I think the city has an easement. What is the easement? Oh, no property, 5 feet?
Easements vary from location to location, but we could say safely 5 feet.
Okay. So what I'm asking, sir, is that you're going to have to, I just was there, and I have pictures right here. I took pictures. I got them here. So I'm not misinformed about anything. I have the pictures. But I would like to make sure that on the deal is that you have to have a certain width, sir, on those projects, okay? And also one more thing. The city's going to put sidewalks in other places too. I know that. Just follow the trails. You can tell where people are walking. Very simple. Okay?
Not rocket science?
No, rocket science. And sometimes we go around.
Yeah, maybe Commissioner Gowan can provide
With
us.
respect to the central width, when you retrofit a city or properties for sidewalks, it is difficult because you need to then cut down trees or move utilities to be able to get the width. And I don't know if Doro is here tonight? No. He is the one that explained that to me, the city engineer, and that's why on Central, the sidewalk, we're retrofitting. So we're not obviously going to cut down all the palm trees along Central Boulevard.
Okay, in one
This
part.
ordinance talks about new construction, not retrofitting.
Well, that sidewalk is kind of high in it's very low in one area and very high the dirt. If it rains, it's going to bring all that mud onto the sidewalk. You are going to have a little problem. You might have some accidents and people walking through there. I have to be concerned about that, sir, and we have to be concerned, the city. Liability is there. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Good evening, Mayor and City Commissioners. Just thinking on some of this actions or considerations, are we going to grandfather the people that already have these homes, or are we just going to do things, you know, spontaneously and serendipity, and are we going to raise taxes to do it? I mean, if these are bright ideas, I mean, you might want to think about how it will impact the public and our taxes.
Ben, do you want to answer that? Or Ramiro?
Taxes would not be raised for this. Basically, in the ordinance, it talks about that if you're grandfathered and you didn't have a sidewalk, you didn't have a sidewalk. But if you make improvements that are 50% or more of the value of the home, you would be required to put a sidewalk. But right now, we won't force anybody to go and build out a sidewalk.
And just to echo some of the points that Mr. Oreste was making, I do believe I saw some of the construction there on Central Boulevard. It is quite narrow. I don't know how somebody can fit one of those electric wheelchairs, and there's a lot of people that even drive or driving actually on the highway with the electric wheelchairs. I don't know if anybody enforces that, looks at it, or that's very dangerous because something could happen to them. And they are quite narrow, so you might want to rethink how you're implementing this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further? Do I hear a motion to close public hearing?
Motion to close public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Is that for
Motion to
both
approve.
ordinances or one?
The motion would be, I guess, to give the both numbers.
Okay, I'm sorry. Motion to approve number 6 and number 7.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 8, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2011-030 to rezone from general retail G to apartment G classification for 1.25 acres out of Lot 1, Block 6 of Ridgeline Terrace subdivision, Section 1, located at North Ridge Drive and Ridgeline Drive.
Honorable Mayor, City Commissioners, the applicant here would like to have some apartments or duplexes. The Plan Zoning Commission voted unanimously to approve this recommendation to you. Public hearing.
Public hearing. Any comments? Do I hear a motion to close public hearing?
I think there's somebody coming.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Just a thought on these new dwellings or businesses that are about to be put up. Has it been publicized by the person putting up the building that they intend to place a business there? Is it public, or is it just right before the city commission and it's whoever appears here? Is there something public that tells these people, hey, we want to build a bar in your backyard?
Yes, ma'am. There. Go ahead, Ben.
Yes, this cases go before the Planning and Zoning Commission. There's a 200-foot radius around these properties, and notices are actually sent out to the residents on our tax rolls. And then there's a publication in the newspaper on Sunday, 10 days before the meeting, that we will have this public hearing.
And is there a response, Mr. Medina, to these?
Yes, people attend our Planning and Zoning Commission meetings, or some people may be here on this matter. I'm not sure, but sometimes it's very well attended at the Planning and Zoning.
So there's ample time to know what's going on?
Yes.
It's all required by law. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
it's
just making sure, because, I mean, there might be some people that
Sure.
don't know what's going on,
Yeah.
and that'll affect their taxes.
And,
in
and
the
Letty,
commercial
this is in my district, and I've had a couple of residents call me on behalf of this matter in opposition to this. There are residents who are concerned about it going from just general residential homes to apartments and duplexes. So I would like to be on the record for that there are individuals who are in opposition of this that could not be here today.
Okay, thank you.
yeah, it's just a public hearing. Mr. Glore?
I'm the developer of this property, and this property is in Ridgeline Terrace. It was zoned commercial. It fronts Alton Glore. I didn't bring it with me, but if you look around where those duplexes are going, there's duplexes across the street, duplexes immediately to the west. All of the east section is all duplexes, and what we're doing is we're just taking a commercial tract, cutting it in half, putting the duplexes on the north side, and the front side is going to remain commercial.
Thank you.
So, and there was not any opposition that I'm aware of at the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Glore.
Questions?
Anybody have?
I just, my 2 cents worth is, I mean, I think that what you've done on Alton Glore is phenomenal. You've taken a lot of people that, because of tough times, because of the subdivisions that they live in that have an extra pit or an extra mud, have lost their homes. And they've been able to move into your duplexes.
Thank you.
And I hadn't been able to see you and tell you that, but thank you for that.
All right, well, and on these units, they'll all have fenced yards. They're all going to be brick veneer. We're going to have 6-foot setbacks on each side, which is over and above what is in Ridgeline Terrace today. The lots are, I believe, 78 and 80-foot wide, which are larger than the existing lots there. And I mean, I know there's some concerns when you say duplexes, but we will have lawn maintenance there too. We'll mow the grass for the people, and we'll keep them up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Melissa, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. This is item number 8. Any other further
We need
comment?
action. Number 8.
Mayor, we, City Secretary and myself had discussed the procedure, process here of expediting some of these. If you can just have a motion to close the public hearing and then render whatever action.
Okay.
In one motion.
In one
In-
motion.
in-
Public hearing.
And-
Second.
Okay. What he's saying is that you can have the motion that incorporates both the closing of the hearing
Oh,
and an action item. So the motion would be to close public hearing and approve the ordinance.
Approve or deny.
That-
If you want to.
If you want to.
If you want to follow that,
Right.
now we can just
It
follow our
just
traditional way.
expedites the process if
If you're
that's what
going
you
to
get.
approve it, just do it in one motion.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can change that.
Nobody,
Okay.
Okay, well, if it's confusing, that's okay, we'll just
Well,
follow
no,
tradition.
the reason we've always done it is because somebody will come back eventually with a technicality because we obviously didn't close or something
Right.
was supposed to be brought back. That's in essence why we've always done it, one
Okay,
after the
well,
other.
we'll follow this, where we've always done.
Okay. Go ahead.
Motion to
Do
close?
I have a motion to close public hearing then?
You
I
have,
made the motion, Mayor.
and I
Okay.
seconded it.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to close public hearing approved. Do I hear a motion for action?
Move to approve number 8.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
You
Just,
have 1, 2, 3,
3 nays?
No, it's 2 nay. I didn't
Aye.
vote, but I will vote now for, to approve. 4 to 2. Item number,
Passes.
I'm sorry.
It comes before us again because that was the first hearing, the first reading?
Right. Public hearing, item number 9.
Item number 9, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2011-035 to rezone from dwelling general retail G to general retail G on 3.80 acres of Rancho Viejo Tract 1 for Espiritu Santo Grant Share 12 located at 5533 North Expressway.
Honorable Mayor, City Commission, the areas shaded in red there in the map. In this, for this particular case, the applicant would like to have a hotel. The Plan and Zoning Commission voted unanimously to approve this recommendation to you. It's right there on the expressway.
Public
There's a public
hearing.
hearing.
Any comments? There's someone's coming up.
If y'all have any questions, we're the owner of the property, so we have an existing motel already. We're just upgrading, we're gonna build a new one, so. in case there's-
I thought she was going to oppose it.
She's my muscle. In case there's
Okay.
any questions.
Does anybody have any questions of the owner?
No, there's already an existing.
Yeah, we were grandfathered. It used to be commercial, it got changed to residential. So we have an existing operating motel as
Okay.
of right now, but we want a new one, or we're gonna build a new one.
Okay. Anybody else? Do I hear a motion to close public hearing?
Motion to close.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Public hearing passes, closed and passes. Number 9, action.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 10, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2011-036 to rezone from general retail G to light commercial G classification for .76 acres of Lot 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Block 2 of Dunlap subdivision located at 5054 South Padre Island Highway in District 2.
Honorable Mayor, City Commission, in this particular case, the applicant would like to have a used car lot, and the area shaded there in red. The Plan and Zoning Commission voted unanimously to approve this application to you. This is a public hearing.
Okay.
What is it around?
Basically, it's all commercial areas. There's different warehousing, different businesses in that particular part of the community. And of course, residential behind that, but even in that lot, you still have a commercial lot right behind, on Dunlap Street. There may be some photographs. the area.
That's the location?
That's where they would like to use. You can see the Caliche parking lot. They want to expand that and make that into a used car lot.
Any comment from the public? I'll entertain a motion to close public
Motion
hearing.
to close?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Action item.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 10 passes. Number 11.
Number 11, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2011-037 to rezone from dwelling Z classification to light retail G for .69 acres out of Lot 3, Block 1 for Comar subdivision located at 8834 US Highway 281, District 4.
In this particular case, the applicant would like to have an office. The Plan Zoning Commission approved this application for your approval. It was unanimous vote. This is a public hearing.
What kind of office are they wanting to open up?
It wasn't specified, but the lot's not big enough to, but have more like a office for a real estate agent or an insurance agent.
Any other comments? Motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion to approve item number 11.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes on item 11.
Item 12, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2011-038-S to allow heavy industrial classification on a medium industrial classification for 7.5 acres out of Lot 4, Block 213 of El Jardín re-subdivision located near South Powder Island Highway and FM 511.
Honorable Mayor, City Commissioners, the properties are shaded in red. In this case, the applicant would like to have a recycling center where they recycle metal products. There was some opposition at the Plan Zoning Commission on this matter, but it was approved by the Plan Zoning Commission. So it is a public hearing.
Dutch, do you have some?
I certainly do. Permission to approach?
Sure. When did you become a lawyer?
I'm Dutch Fisher Real Estate. This is my wife, Ludi, my wife, and my boss. And this is going to be a recycling center. It is located, if I could kind of, I'm just going to walk over there. My voice carries, at least that's what I'm told. Oh, thank you. Okay, my palsy's going to kick in. Right here on this side is where they put that new crane facility. And we first were going for a place on 48 that was closer to town, on the other side of from where they put that new medical center. And these are nicer than those palms, they're Chinese palms, and they're already mature. They run between 17 and 23 feet tall. And so that we're putting a lot more than the caliber that's required to go back. What we're trying to establish here is we're not only trying to establish a place where we can receive metal, but this is where the trucks go, this is where the automobiles go. Because right now, if I have an air conditioner go out or something like this in my neighborhood or in a lot of neighborhoods, we don't want to put them on the sidewalks, and you see them on the sidewalks. This is going to give someone an opportunity to take their air conditioner, their copper, their refrigerators, and things like this, and actually take them to a facility that they feel comfortable at without having concealed weapons permit. To get on. So we've really dressed it up because I believe it should be a tourist corridor, and that's what it is. Now, the Cortez family they have been doing this recycling and things like this over in Mexico for 17 years. Are coming over here because we all know what's going on over there. They're in the process of building a very nice home in our area using local builders and things like this. So they're already boosting our economy, and this will boost it even more. I know the noise that will be generated will be in this area here, and for compressing tin cans in bundles, as Jessica saw from the photos before at the PNC. And we're putting it over here because that's where the crane facility is. We're not going to jeopardize this that we hope to be able to turn into residential. We put the detention pond here, and then we're going to, of course, have that detention pond watering these trees and vegetation. So it's going to be like something that you would see. I can't say Houston because they have no zoning, but something like we've done in Corpus and places like that, which is attractive. And I'm sorry Barry couldn't be here tonight. He and Georgia, they came down with what I just got over with after 3 months. So it's more blessed to give than to receive, but Barry reminded me that doesn't go for diseases. And so have you any questions? Is there any questions from the audience?
Any questions from the commissioners?
You had said that there would not be any milling of the products. Is that still any milling, grinding?
No, heavens no. See, in fact, international shipwrecking at the port, and they bought the shredder. This is going to be a great client for them. And so Joe Public, or Jose Public, is going to have a place to take their stuff, and then they're going to sell it to the highest bidder that's going to take it. They're really a collection center. They don't get into all the compressing except for the aluminum products, of course, like that, and the non-ferrous stuff, they would do the compressing on, but on anything like that. And that's why we went. One objection was, and they have access to blocks, so that my pulse is really big. Because I'm not nervous, I guess you can tell that. But that's why we went with a very nice block wall here. So someone coming in from the island is going to see a 10-foot high block wall, and then someone going this direction, you're going to see all the landscaping. So we aren't going to detract from the beauty. In fact, if you've been out there, I think we're adding to it sufficiently.
Another thing that they were concerned about was the noise level. Do you know the exact hours of operations?
Very minimal.
And they promised to obey
the
them?
hours of operation are going to be the same hours of operation. What are the hours of operation? We gave you a narrative, but I can't remember. I can't even remember. My hours of operation from 4 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night. There's a narration here, but correct me.
From
8 to 6, and that's exactly, in fact, they're living across now where their house is being built. Their house will be finished before this is, God willing. That's the reason, and Noe had a very good point, Noe and Ben, they had a very good point. We first had the gate over here, they said, wait, what if you have a truck come in before you get there? And they get there early. In fact, these people, I wish I had more clients like them. They arrived at the office before instead of after. But anyway, so it gives plenty of room for a truck
It's my understanding that this is approximately 20 feet from residential. Is this correct?
In the back. Ben, how far are the homes in the back?
The ditch behind it is a drainage ditch, so that would be maybe about 60, 80 feet.
60 feet.
Width,
60 feet.
and then you have the residential in the back of that. That's where the palm trees are in the rear.
But it's well over 100 feet to the closest house. And see, what I thought was very strange, when the grain facility went in, they didn't even put a privacy fence or anything, and they're looking at all this stuff, and they shouldn't be looking at it. You know, we're trying to make it be nice.
Be nice,
You know, and I don't like looking at it either, the grain stuff. But that's okay, they're supposed to be the world's largest. I'm not gonna object to that. But what we wanna do is, we won't wanna detract. I mean, that's why we went through all this and stopped the Jeske's doing the landscaping. And, I mean, we want a first-class facility, because this isn't the only one we wanna do, maybe the only one in Brownsville. But there are things like this on all of the coast, and especially all along, where people can take their stuff, where they aren't sitting. Now, in a lot of areas, you can sit an air conditioner out and it'll be gone in 5 minutes. But I don't wanna see one out at my neighbor's house and stuff like that, so.
No, and we most definitely appreciate you going back and trying to revise this. That's very good of
We've
you.
been working so nice, because Claudia will come to our office, and she'll go to the draftsman, and then she'll go to the architect, and she'll go to Noe's. So it's been worked out very, very well, and it's really a pleasure, it's been a real pleasure to work with P&Z on this project especially. Been a lot of work, but it's been a very pleasure. Any other questions?
The opposition, Ben, I guess this would go to you. The opposition that you received, was it because of the particular type of business?
It was basically, I think, the particular type of business.
I would like, yeah, it was, he kept comparing it to 511. 511.
Well, there-
511
It's just a
And the plant,
recycling
and the
business.
plant on Victoria Heights that
Yes.
poses an environmental risk.
That's another question I have, and I want to refer to our legal counsel, Mark Saucy. Are there any requirements as pertains to TCEQ or EPA when it comes to developing a plant like this, considering its proximity to residential?
Any requirements would have to be met. You know, I mean, that's through the permitting process. If you need to go through TCEQ, or you need to go through EPA, or fortunately, I don't have to go through Army Corps of Engineers, but, I mean, all that is in the permitting process, just like the size of the detention pond. That comes, that's figured out for the number of square feet, how large the detention pond has to be. Of course, in the medical community on Price Road, the Brandon Medical Center, their detention pond is the park. You know, so people are sitting in a real nice area, detention pond, but they don't want to be there when it rains. But I mean, all that goes into the permitting process where we have government, we have authorities, and we have.
Right, right. Again, our main concern is just the families that are there. We're allowing something that's so industrial to be so close to their homes and their families.
This is industrial, it's zoned industrial.
Yeah.
It's not zoned top industrial.
Right.
It's been zoned industrial.
Right, but to upgrade it to heavy industrial changes the entire zoning, which,
It's not-
compromises.
That's why it's before us today.
That's why it's before us, and our approval or
Do you
disapproval
have the zoning map?
affects so many families.
Do you have the zoning?
Yes.
See, see the G? The G is first manufacturer. That's where the crane facility is. We're first manufacturing already. They say that we're already first manufacturing. Unfortunately, there isn't for a recycling center. It goes from junkyard, which we have all up and down 48. Fortunately, I got rid of one of them by doing some warehouses, but I mean, that's what it is. So we're not gonna have any kind of detrimental effect whatsoever with noise, pollution, or anything like this. In fact, much less noise and much less activity will be going on ours in lieu of the one just to, for lack of a better direction, just east of it, which is G, where the big crane facility is.
Right.
And we went way over the tourist corridor setbacks that would be required, and should have been required on 511 years ago before all the junkyards went out there.
I agree with you on that.
Any further comment? Do I hear a motion to close public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm s-
She's not gonna be affected by
Okay, I'm not an industrial engineer or anything like that, but just looking at this paper, it says heavy industrial recycling center on a medium industrial for 7.5 acres. So we're upgrading from a medium to a heavy, is that correct? We're upgrading, that's what I understood. Then, if we're upgrading from a medium to a heavy, then what are is there any taxation that goes along with that? And I guess Ben would be the first one to answer that, because I see a question mark here.
I really cannot answer, I mean, I'm sure the appraisal district will come out and reappraise that, and then they would have a new value, but there will be no, I mean, zoning really sometimes dictates new appraised values, but that's the appraisal district. And I'm sure
There's not a
once-
different rate for different
Yeah, there's no different
categories.
rates.
It's,
Everybody has the
it's all based on the appraisal of the value of the improvement.
Okay, and I'm gonna beg to differ with you a little bit, Ben. I do have a home in El Jardín subdivision, and I was not notified of that, so if you're
Was it
thinking.
200 feet of this?
No, but El Jardín subdivision, no, it's not within that area.
We notify only the 200 feet of this, we do a circle around it, anybody fits in that 200-foot radius, they get a notice.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And also, he mentioned air conditioners. I suppose that when you dispose of air conditioners, you've got to be working with Freon and gases and things of that nature. There's got to be, they're not gonna just dump air conditioners there. There's gonna be other metals that are going to be deposited there, and other emitting gases. Who's to know? It's gonna be a recycling center, just dump whatever you want to. Who cares? So there is a concern, or there should be a concern. We don't know what he's talking about. I don't think he knows what he's talking about until they actually go and deposit what they're gonna deposit. Nobody knows what they're gonna deposit. A refrigerator, batteries.
That was my original concern.
Batteries, right? And I'm concerned about that. But I'm also concerned about it being a recycling center. And the previous commission had the recycling center, which is the one on Elizabeth Street. A lady from Mexico, I believe, spearheaded with Mayor Ahumada and worked with that project. And there was a question by Commissioners Atkinson and Troyani is, what about the profits that you're making on this, in this operation? Can you bring it before the city? We need to tax it because that's a part of our taxation. Everything was swept under the carpet. Nobody said a word. Kind of sort of like, there's my friends, and we're just going to work with the friendship. You know what? We're missing out. We're a city that needs money, and if he's going to make a good buck out of it, or maybe none, I don't know, you know. But if there is profit to be made, there's a sales tax to be collected. And I think,
Profits on, to be made are taxed by Uncle Sam or at the federal level. We start going and taxing every small business that makes a profit. I'm out of business myself.
well, I'm sorry to hear that, but anyway, I think that we should look into it. If the recycling center on Elizabeth Street did not comply with this commission, which it did not, then we have another recycling center in a bigger project with heavy metals and emissions or gases or battery acids or whatnot, that if he's gonna make a profit, we need to collect, because you know what? Every little bit counts, and I think it deserves a second look. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? I think we had
How many jobs are involved? I think is there 9 original jobs, was that in the narrative? 9?
Okay.
And those jobs will be going to people that are local?
And legal.
Okay, no visas or anything?
Sure.
Okay. I think we had a motion
Motion to
before.
close.
I'd like to make a motion to close.
Close. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank
Action.
you very much.
Well, no, now we have the action item
Hasn't passed it.
on item number 12.
Okay, I'd like to make the motion to table so that we can speak to the people who live here. We're all for this, but we just want to clear it with the residents because it is them, and their property values and whatnot that are involved. So I'd like to make a motion to table and we'll see where it goes.
Okay, there's a motion to table.
I'll second that.
Have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion. Motion passes. I'm sorry? No, sir, not, we had the Robert's Rules of Order. You have public hearing, you have public, then you close it, and then you have an action item. It's been moved to table, and it's been tabled. That's the motion that's been passed.
Okay, well, the reason we picked this particular site is we were directed to this particular site by that particular lady and her constituents.
Okay. Thank you. All right, item number 13.
Item 13, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2011-039-S to allow apartments on a dwelling zone classification for Lot 9, Block 1 of Renfro Terrace, Section 1, subdivision located at 58 Renfro Boulevard.
Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners, in this particular case, the applicant would like to have 21 one-bedroom apartments to accommodate senior citizens. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted unanimously to approve this application to you. This is a public hearing.
Any comments on public hearing? Entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Action item on item number 13. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve.
Okay, have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, motion carries on item number 13. Item number 14.
Item 14, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2011-604-CU, an ordinance allowing a conditional use permit to sell on-premises alcohol at 1.3 acres of Lot 1 of Freeport Park subdivision located at 7115 Powder Island Highway, Suite B.
Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners, this is a wet restaurant, a specific use. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted unanimously to approve this application to you. There's an existing building and it is a restaurant and they want to sell alcohol.
It's an existing restaurant?
Well, it's an existing building. And there's a picture there in the packet.
What is it surrounding? I can't
What is it,
picture
what was your
What is
question?
around the location?
It's basically warehousing, commercial businesses. As you can see from the map, it's
Does it
right
fall
at that
within-
intersection.
Does it fall within the allotted mileage from Garcia Middle School?
How close is that?
Well, it does not, with the school, yes, but not from the residential. That's why they're here before you.
Any comments, questions?
What's behind there?
It's like a little industrial complex. There's businesses, there's warehousing,
But there's houses right across the street.
and then there's houses across
Minnesota.
Minnesota that dissects from south to north. It's right there in the corner, but it's a
How many feet
piece of
is it?
land that's got different types of businesses in it.
How many feet exactly, Ben, is it to the nearest home?
School,
No,
Home.
it's from-
home, it's within the 200 feet. You see, because we're counting property line to the residential property line. So it's a little bit more, if you're talking structure to structure, but
So
we're
it's
here,
a-
we have to talk about property lines for this ordinance.
Oh, that's right. It used to be something else.
It used to be like a dance hall,
Ah,
Crystal Ballroom, yeah, dance hall.
That's pretty close.
to the school.
That's pretty close.
What, they have the distance from the school though, right?
The school, yes, but not the residential.
That's why it's before us, because it doesn't, you're basically trying to waive
Yes.
a requirement of how far you're away
That's
from
why
a
they're asking for
residential.
special permit, that's,
But that street in the front, that's Highway 100,
Highway 48.
48,
Yes.
48. You have a liquor store around there, right? On the other side.
On the other side,
Yes.
Gordon's down the street, not that I've
Yes.
ever been there, but
Busted.
bait there, Mayor.
I call it bait as well. Okay, Robert, do you have any?
First of all, yeah, I know that area now. There is a, there is a liquor, but there's, the question I was gonna say is that, of course, another liquor place, okay. Is there an ordinance that says that, I've been to the one over here at the, where Hooters used to be, and there's bottles all the time. People bring out their drinks all the time. Is there an ordinance that says you cannot bring out any liquor, anything, beer or liquor by hand out? Because I've been to,
It's a TABC law.
okay, too many people bring them out. Nobody's enforcing that. If you go to some places, you see bottles everywhere. I think the owner, whoever's gonna run this place, need to have high strict restrictions not to let anyone. There is a very close residential area. I do have people that live there. A lot of my ex-students live there. I taught at Rivera. And I think there's a medical, across the street, right behind it, there's medical buildings there. I think they stay up late also. So we have to look at that concern. If they're gonna start drinking after 10, okay, 10 to 12 is great. Okay, 2 hours.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Ben Kajay. I own the property. And the gentleman, what he's talking about, previously, it used to be a ballroom. And if you don't have the liquor license, you could do whatever you want to do. You can bring your own booze, and it's okay with Texas Alcohol Beverage Commission. But this place right here is a seafood restaurant. They're asking for beer and wine only. And across the street, there are a couple establishments that do have that, plus liquor. And there are a couple clinics, like dentists, you know, but a small family clinic, nothing like a hospital or, and the license has been approved by TABC.
Okay.
And the place will close at 9 o'clock at night. And it's only beer and wine. And by law, they cannot bring their own liquor or booze or whatever.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But commissioners, you got to know that, you know, even though you have a beer and wine license, there's nothing that prevents anybody from, under this ordinance variance, they can get a hard liquor license, and there's nothing, not to dissuade anybody, but there's nothing legally that would allow us to say you can't have a hard liquor license if once we pass this ordinance. And the second thing is we have no control over the time that they operate. I mean, unless you build it into your.
Is there a specific use?
Yes, you could put that into the
It's a
ordinance.
conditional use.
I mean,
Can you give me a specific use on beer and wine only? For the,
Well,
Yeah, can we legally do that?
I don't know, Mr.
well,
Rosasi,
no,
is that?
I think it's a legal question. You can put conditions.
Well, what do the other restaurants have? Because there's other restaurants that serve,
They have everything.
they have everything, so.
The reason they having beer and wine license because of myself. I own the property and I distribute liquor to the restaurants. By TABC law, I cannot have a tenant that serves liquor on the premises. They can serve only beer and wine. But it doesn't mean that it's not gonna be a liquor store. It is possible to put a liquor store there, but as long as I own the property and I'm in the liquor business, nobody can have liquor on premises, only beer and wine. Across the street, there are 2 establishments, they have mixed drinks, they have everything.
Yeah, and I understand that. The thing is that the ordinance goes to the property, not to the property owner. And so therefore, should you sell that piece of property, then a liquor license would be applicable if they ask for it. You know.
Yes,
So
yes.
it goes, that ordinance goes to the property, not the property owner, okay?
Well, my other issue too, Mayor, is, I know it's a good location for this, but we allow a conditional use permit for this establishment. Now, we're opening the door for other establishments that are probably not as you know, it's not a good location for, you know, it's just, I have
I'm
concern
sorry
about
to say that in past we have, I know the city has a policy that it has to be 200 feet away from residential, but we have asked for permit. I know many places that is attached to the residential, and they're still having license, and this is based on the heavy commercial traffic. It is on Highway 48. It is commercial, there's only few residential on the back. And we're trying to make it look good, so this, it be a good building.
Okay.
And you did a good job in the remodeling.
I'm sorry?
You did a good job on the
Thank you.
remodeling.
We're trying to do the second one, but I don't think we have enough parking lot to have a restaurant to have, or bar to have mixed drinks. Our intention, we probably have a liquor store in future. I'm saying that now, but it's a prime location, it's a heavy commercial area. I don't see,
Okay.
I mean, across the street, about 20 feet away, they have license.
Okay. Do I have a motion? Does
Motion
anybody
to
else,
close.
any other comments? Commissioners, anybody else have any more comments? Do I have a motion to close?
Motion to close.
Second.
All those in favor to close?
Aye.
Passes. Now, a motion with regards to item number 14. Do I hear a motion to?
Motion to approve.
Motion
Second.
to approve?
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye. You made the motion?
Yes.
Okay,
It's a motion, there's a motion to approve.
right. And
Number
I hear
14.
2 ayes. Do I hear any nays?
Nay.
Nay? It doesn't-
I need to abstain. I have
Yeah.
pending litigation, so I need to abstain.
I understand. It fails, so we will, the motion will be denied.
So what's the next step?
You don't get it.
You-
You don't get it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to check with legal
This
counsel,
is,
okay?
this is
Public
commercial
comment
property.
period?
It's ridiculous. I apologize to say that. It is ridiculous.
Okay, I think that, Ben, I think
That's it,
that
Ben.
does it for you right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to stay?
I think, Robert,
Item 15.
16.
Item 16, consideration and action to authorize the execution of an interlocal agreement between the City of Brownsville, Texas and Cameron County Drainage District Number 1 to authorize construction, operation, and maintenance of hike and bike trail on land adjacent to drainage ditches.
Commissioners, this is an agreement originated in the 4B. Commissioner Gowan worked on it. This is basically an agreement, or a tentative agreement, between the city and the Cameron County, or the Irrigation District Number 1. And the idea is to allow the city to develop hike and bike trails adjacent to the irrigation district ditches, which would allow quite an elaborate system of hike and bike trails throughout the city. So we'd ask that you approve this agreement.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, this next agreement is an
May
agreement.
I read it?
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Going too fast.
Consideration and action to authorize execution of a license agreement between the City of Brownsville and the Cameron County Drainage District Number 1.
This is another tentative agreement between the city and Cameron County Drainage District Number 1. The city's presently working on East Morrison Road. The Cameron County Irrigation District owns certain property and easements on that, and this agreement is to permit the city to finish the construction of East Morrison Road over those areas. Quite simply.
Do I hear a
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Okay, go ahead.
Number 18.
Number 18, consideration and action to authorize an addendum to the administrative services contract between the City of Brownsville and Greater Brownsville Incentives Corporation.
The city of Brownsville currently provides certain administrative services to the 4A, and in exchange pays the 4A payment of 2% of the sales tax collected, which is about $83,000 a year. The commission has there's an agreement that the GBIC has already approved, where the GBIC would provide a $1 million line of credit in exchange for waiving those fees, which basically amounts to an interest-free loan for downtown revitalization. And the only cost to the city would be the waiving this administrative fee. Legal would ask that you approve this agreement as well.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Mr. Rodriguez, I think you're next.
Item 19, consideration and action to authorize funds from the plastic bag remittance fee account to be allocated for the Make a Difference Bulk for Cash event to be held on December the 3rd, 2011 at Montebello Trails Park on Alton Glore Boulevard.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, first of all, let me invite you again to our December 3rd Make a Difference event. Essentially, I'm coming before you to authorize the spending and the advertising that we'll be doing for this event. Last time around, we collected 26 tons in 4 hours, which is about 15% of what the landfill would bring in a whole day. And this was brought in by citizens. We handed out cash for the bulky waste items, and I want to say that it was very successful and well received by the community.
I think it's a great program, Arturo. Make sure you do the social media and really pump it up. We'll get some more going, because this is good to clean up the city.
It is, and it's very well received, and any assistance.
Is this one going to include the tires or not?
At this point, no, but we're still working with TCEQ for the spring event. We hope next year to have this in the spring and in the fall, and we're hoping for that spring to actually focus on the tires.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item 20, consideration and action to authorize funds from the plastic bag remittance fee account for allocated projects coordinated by the Keep Brownsville Beautiful program, which are to be held throughout the KBB fiscal year September 2011 through August 2012.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, this item is essentially authorizing the city to transfer some funds from the remittance fee that's been done from the plastic bag ordinance, so that Keep Brownsville Beautiful can fund its projects for fiscal year, this current fiscal year.
Move to approve.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 21, consideration and action to approve leasing of real property located at 1254 East Monroe Street to Rio Bravo Wildlife Institute.
Honorable Mayor, City Commissioner, I ask this item be tabled.
Table.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item is tabled.
Item 22, consideration and action on resolution number 2011-069 to authorize the Planning and Community Development Department to apply for Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation funding for a quality of life project.
Honorable Mayor, City Commission, this is the required resolution for us to apply for BCIC funding. This would be for the Montezuma Cypress Preserve Project, La Posada.
Okay, that's the one out there, southmost area.
La Posada Preserve.
Move to approve. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 23, consideration and action to authorize execution of a revised interlocal agreement between the City of Brownsville and Cameron County with the agreement, consent, and participation of Cameron County Tax Assessor Collector.
Okay, Judge.
Honorable Mayor and Commissioners, good evening. I'm going to hand these. That's the bill. Senate, well, I think we're on the interlocal agreement. Okay, I'm getting ahead here. The interlocal agreement is to authorize scofflaw, the scofflaw agreement, which y'all passed back in April. And there was a change by the legislature regarding the collection of the fees involved. And just to recap it, the scofflaw program is based on data that we send to the county tax collector. And when people go to renew their license plates, they can't if they have a hold on it by the court. So they have to take a form that the county gives them, and they go to the court, and they have to address their issues with us with the tickets, and we either get a full payment or we work out a payment plan. And we release the document back to them with our seal, and then they can get their license plates. We've been having a very great benefit to the city with this program. So the legislature removed, there was a $20 scofflaw fee involved. 10 would go to the city and 10 would go to the county. And the legislator eliminated the city from being able to collect anything on this. And what they did was let the county collect the whole 20. So that's pretty much the gist of the change in this agreement, that we have to tell them there's going to be a $20 fee, and then they pay it. We were collecting it and then giving the county their share. Now we don't have to collect it, but the county will collect their own fee. It'll be 20 instead of 10. So that's pretty much the change involved.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Item 24, consideration and action on resolution 2011-070 to allow ethical and training standards for juvenile case managers employed by the City of Brownsville, providing for implementation of said standards and providing for periodic review to ensure implementation of the requisite standards.
Okay, so the Senate Bill 61 was handed to you. That Senate bill was meant to clean up some issues regarding the juvenile case managers that were allowed by the state legislature. This city enacted an ordinance allowing us to collect a $5 per violation court cost to fund a juvenile case manager. We have greatly expanded our juvenile justice system, you would call it, and this court cost that was allowed by the legislature and enacted by the city has funded a position, and we've, like I say, expanded our services quite a bit, along with the help of the BISD, the school district. And so we've set up, for example, programs where there's counseling involved, and they are supporting us with resources, because the juvenile case manager is a combination of a municipal court clerk that handles the juvenile dockets, also kind of a probation officer, because we have to keep track of the students and what they have to do. And then they're also a social worker, because it extends to the home. So by getting the help of BISD, they've helped us with some of the stuff, especially the counseling and the home visits. A lot of it's geared around failure to attend school, but we also get other types of cases. And so what happened was other municipalities around the state were collecting the fee, and they were not using it for a juvenile case manager. They were just keeping it either in the general fund or funding other parts, operations of the municipal court. So the state decided to come down and get some accountability, and they required that an ethics code be adopted by the city, that there be some training set up for the juvenile case manager, which involves those 3 areas I was talking about. As a matter of fact, Mr. Hassey and I participated in a statewide work group sponsored by the Texas Municipal Courts Training Center. And this group put together the model ethics code and also the suggestions to the Human Resources Department for pre-service and in-service training. And then what we need from you all is a resolution adopting the code and suggesting or adopting the resource, the human resources aspect, which is some pre-service training and in-service on an annual basis. And then there needs to be an annual review, which we can do. I mean, I could probably handle that part of it without involving you all, unless you want to. So those are the 4 things that need to be done. The resolution, which adopts the code of ethics and the requirements for service training, and then some review. So we would ask you to adopt this resolution, pass it, so we can be in compliance. December 1st was the deadline. Believe it or not, they passed on September 1st, and they gave the state, everybody in the state till December 1st to adopt all this. So this work group we were in set up models that other cities around the state could get, and this is a product of that, which is the code of ethics and the resolution. So we would ask you to please pass it.
I hear a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you, Ben.
We appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Item 25, consideration and action on resolution number 2011-071 to request financial assistance from the Texas Water Development Board for construction of various public improvements to the city's utility system, to authorize the city's financial advisors, bond counsel, and engineers to coordinate the submission of the application to the Texas Water Development Board and other matters connected therewith.
Honorable Mayor and Commissioners, this is a resolution to request financial assistance from the Texas Water Development Board for first-time sewer connections in different areas throughout the city of Brownsville.
I hear a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Gigi, are some of the areas that are being detected or gonna be looked upon, are they some of these areas? Because we do have some issues with certain, I don't wanna say acres or tracts of land, but certain parts of the city that have been annexed for years and are still pending services. Would this be something that would be benefiting them?
These are different areas throughout the city, and it's divided into different projects, and we call it the North and the South Colonia projects. Ruben Lozano's passing along some, two of the maps, and these are the areas that are affected. On the north side, we have the Colonia Palacios, Colonia, the Central Estates, Praxidis Saldivar, Las Flores, Las Palmas subdivision, and an unserved Old Port Isabel Road area. And then on the south side, we have Paloma Blanca subdivision, Milpa Verde subdivision, 21 subdivision, Dogberry Estates, and Colonia Coronado. It's
Gigi,
a-
one more favor. When these projects come to fruition, when they get done, I need somebody at PUB to get a hold of, either contact with Carlos Lastra or Santana Torres, because I don't want what happened to me on Roosevelt and on certain other projects like right now. We had Jennifer redone a couple of years ago, and it was wonderful, and the people were really happy. These people come in, they do the project, it gets bidded out, they cut up half of the street, they use the trucks on the other side of the street, they repave where they did their work, but they messed up with their own vehicles, the other side. They need to either let us know so that we can budget appropriately, or they need to dish out an extra $1,000 and just overlay whatever they used up. Because I'm running into that situation all over the place. I'm very grateful that these grants came in and that we're getting the drainage that we're getting in. But by the time they leave, they're only paving half of my street. And my public works directors are being told, my engineers are being told, and all of a sudden, I've got complaints. because, thank you, we're, you know, Commissioner, we're grateful that PUB, whoever it is came in and did this, but my street is odd, you know, and it's just, you know, we need to catch up on, so if you would do us that favor, that'd be great.
We'll coordinate with both areas, the engineering and the public works.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I still need a motion for, I've got a motion and a second. Do I, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, Gigi. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gigi.
Item 26, consideration and action to award a contract for the purchase, delivery of two 350-kilowatt generators and two automatic transfer switches for the Garden Park and West Brownsville pump stations.
Honorable Mayor, City Commissioners, under Section 791.025 of the Local Government Code, under contracts and purchases, the bidding requirement has been satisfied by the Texas Local Government Code under purchasing cooperatives. The purchasing department, as well as the planning department and Ambutech Engineering, we have worked together with representatives from BIBOR and HGAC to develop specifications for the purchase and delivery of two 350-kilowatt generators and two automatic transfer switches for the subject project. This project consists of the purchase and delivery of these two generators on a concrete pad in the West Brownsville and Garden Park areas. Staff recommendation is to award a contract for the purchase, delivery, and mounting of these two 350-kilowatt generators and two automatic transfer switches for Garden Park and West Brownsville Pump Station to Cummings Incorporated out of San Antonio, Texas, in the amount of $195,720. Now, this procurement reflects HGAC contract pricing, and the funding for this project, it's available under the Hurricane Dolly Disaster Grant number DRS 010018 through the Texas General Land Office. The administration of the planning department, as well as the project engineer from Ambutech, concurs with this recommendation. I'll be more
Yes,
than
sir.
happy to answer any questions.
It's really directed towards Jeff.
Okay.
Did you oversee this grant, or some details of it?
Some of the early details?
Well, at Impala Pump, we lease the generator, and it ends up being a more cost-effective. Is this because there's monies in the grant that need to be spent, and it would be an obvious, it obviously is a good, it's a good purchase, but business-wise, it's always been a lot more, it's been better for us if we lease instead of purchasing.
In terms of the specific decision to lease or purchase, I'm not familiar with that. I know some of the early discussions in relation to this. Obviously, it's an area where we've got significant water issues, flooding issues. The generators are very needed, as they are at Impala. I know some of the grants that have been discussed have included the potential for purchasing generators as well at the Impala pumps.
Yeah, but it was just, right, Santana, that we were always told that it was more cost-effective if we leased versus a purchase of a. Yes. Okay.
Any other questions? Have a motion?
Move to approve.
Sec- All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 27, consideration and action to authorize add alternate number 2 for re-roofing for the Public Computing Center expansion at the City of Brownsville Central Public Library.
Since we're talking about hurricanes, we're going to talk a little bit more about hurricanes. To give you some background, the initial contract with Donald Ferguson for the Public Computing Center expansion was awarded back on September the 6th of 2011 in the amount of $941,415. This particular request tonight is to add alternate number 2 from the original proposal package to be awarded to Donald Ferguson for the re-roofing improvements at the Public Computing Center project. Now, this request has basically been brought forward due to the availability of additional funds, and those funds are the CO funds in the amount of $1.3 million that you approved here just a few weeks back for the re-roofing project at the Brownsville Public Library. To give you a general idea, the $1.3 million that you approved in the CO was to serve two purposes at the Brownsville Public Library. Number one was to re-roof the library to deal with some of the leakage issues that we've had for years at the library. But in addition to that, as you know, the Brownsville Public Library serves as our emergency operations center for the city during times of emergency and disaster. Part of the $1.3 million was to include hardening and strengthening of the roof so that the roof of that building will withstand a Category 5 hurricane. That is critical to our functioning during emergency, situations within the city of Brownsville. What has happened since that has been approved, the $1.3 million to include re-roofing and to include the hardening, at this point in time, as we already have all of the infrastructure torn down in that area of the library, it is more cost effective for us to take money from that $1.3 million that you've already approved, apply it now so we can do the hardening and the strengthening of the roof. It will save us money. Otherwise, if we do all the work now and then come back to do the re-roofing, we're going to have to tear down internal roof materials we've already put up, tear down lighting that we've already put up to do the work. It'll be more cost effective to do this now. This is not new dollars. We're simply requesting that you allow us to take $53,607 from the $1.3 million and use it right now for this project.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Can I be
Motion.
devil's advocate just for a little just for 2 seconds?
Sure.
We're gonna have a Category 5 sustainable roof.
The roof.
Yeah.
In
Has
theory.
anybody looked at a Category 5 sustainable structure in the future? I mean, I know that I'm playing devil's advocate. I know that the roof is the first thing that it catches, but is our structure, and I'm only telling you this because we went through that at the Camille Liner.
It's a wonderful question, and to go into a little bit of background, the Office of Emergency Management, when it moved into the library, one of the specific questions that I posed to Jerry was just how strong is this building? We proceeded to call a structural engineer to answer the question for us. They came in and they told us basically the walls will withstand a Category 5 hurricane as built right now by spec, not the roof. They said the roof may be Category 2, possibly 3 for a short period of time. So that's critical for us. The roof was a very important issue that we needed to address. Once the roof is complete, the only thing we have left to address are the windows, the doorways. I'm happy to tell you that we're applying for a pre-disaster mitigation grant to take care of that right now. And the early information we've gotten is that it's looking very positive for us to get 75% of the cost covered to take care of shutters for the windows and doors. At that point, we'll be in excellent shape. We've also gotten a generator that we purchased through a Homeland Security grant that powers part of the building. So we're getting very close to being in great shape to protect the EOC, and then obviously, in addition to that, protect the resources, the computer. We've got millions of dollars worth of computer equipment in that facility, and it'll be good to protect it well.
I think the motion already passed.
Motion to
Thank you very
adjourn.
much.
Anyway, if it hadn't, y'all want to vote again? No. I'm ready for your motion. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Let's go.